you had maybe 8 planes, you're cannibalizing 3 to feed the 5 because we didn't have parts and storage and those type of things. And I think that's has played out in other areas for us as well. And we need to not only make sure we have the manufacturing industrial base, but we also have the ability to have the parts and inventory on to keep all those things online, or we have to remove them from service.
Yes, sir. I know General Alvin and the team at the Air Force is looking hard at that too, to make sure that we've got the right stuff on the shelf prior to that we need, not just in the C-130 community, but the other airframes within the Air Force, and frankly, the Joint Force. Parts are always going to be a driver. And I'm really encouraged by the innovation that's happening to look at things like additive manufacturing, where we get a hold of the specs from companies like Lockheed and others and can just 3D print right on the spot of the requirement.
Those have to be in any procurement you do from now on.
Yes, sir. I think so, sir. It's, you know, the force of the future will fix on the spot. So they'll need to be able to have the parts right there. And as we look at mission command and delegating authorities and responsibilities to our younger commanders and you know, complex command and control problems, part of that is going to be the ability to sustain our force out there at the edge.
Thank you very much, General.
Yes, sir.
I yield back.
And thinking of logistics, it made me think at, what was it, General Marshall, who went out in the 30s and met with a young lieutenant colonel and said, it's the best logistics officer I've ever met. And that was General Eisenhower. 3 years later, he was a 4-star general. So wars, logistics are important. Mr. Anderholt, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thanks everyone for being here today, this morning. And as we wrap up the hearing today, let me say the Golden Dome Initiative represents, in my opinion, a substantial investment in our national security, and I credit this administration in pursuing this bold project, and I share your ambition for it. So thank you for moving forward on that. I want to follow up with from my colleague from New York. The president has said that he has chosen an option that will total $175 billion. Can you confirm that number, and when do you hope to make this system of systems operational?
I'll have Bryn confirm it, but our belief is that 175 is the totality, that this is the initial investment, but that a lot of the investment will eventually be in systems, some of which are already in production. We'll need to ramp up the production of them because the president has charged us with having this mission capable by the end of his term. So this is not something that's futuristic. This is not something that will happen in some distant future based on some technology we don't yet have or can't field. Our approach to Golden Dome will be making sure we can procure existing layers that can talk to each other with new layers on top, because this is a layered system, as was mentioned, to include drones as well in partnership with the services. So can you confirm that, Bryn?
Yes, sir. Nothing to add. That's all accurate. And we're still planning towards what the final number is, but the $24.8 billion we're requesting this year is that down payment on the near-term capabilities that we're looking at as part of the architecture.
Okay, thank you. Let me switch over, and I'd like to get your thoughts on the AUKUS partnership. Not merely as a cornerstone for our Indo-Pacific defense strategy, but also as an opportunity for our defense industrial base. And in fact, we've heard from a lot of Australian and UK businesses who are ready, willing, and able to move production to the US, given the new regulatory framework under Pillar 2. Britain and Australia set the standard for defense cooperation, bringing real capability and firepower to the fight. Can you preview how this administration intends to fund Pillar 2 efforts to develop and field joint capabilities between all three partners?
It's a great question, sir. I've spent a great deal of time with both Minister of Defense Marles from Australia, as well as Secretary of Defense Healy from the UK, to really get our arms around what would be mutually beneficial in this trilateral arrangement. So there's the recognition with Australian in Pillar 1 that they're investing in our defense industrial base. We want to provide them capabilities. We want to make sure those capabilities are part of how they use them with submarines, but also how they integrate with us as allies. In Pillar 2, we're not we don't want to rely just on the architecture of the previous administration. We're looking at sort of the opportunity for a signature program or programs we can work on together that benefit all three, that create processes or procurement opportunities of systems we need for future fights. And we've had, in fact, as recently as last week, I spoke with Secretary Healy about that, and we're looking for those 1 or 2 signature programs. We've got a menu of options. We're at the point where we'll get to right-sizing it and determining it.
And you feel at this point that things are on track, and you're...
That's what we're monitoring, especially in Pillar 1, sir, to make sure that expectations are properly set so that we're not missing deadlines or expectations are shifted in the wrong direction. So we're having honest conversations with our allies, like we should, with a recognition that by investing in each other in that defense industrial base, we can have a multiplying effect.
Thank you. I yield back.
Thank you, gentlemen. Ms. McCollum, any closing statement?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. So to Mr. Aguilar's question, and Ms. McDonald, you were helping to fill in the blanks. The money's coming from FSRM, and that's about a 25% cut to that budget to fill on what's happening on the border and now what's happening in Los Angeles. If you could give us the details of what's not going to happen in that account because of that, that would be fabulous. We might want to look and see if we prioritize things in next year's budget to make sure that they're covered. Mr. Secretary, the top line on the budget before us is $830 billion. It is not $901 billion. It's just not. That's the number we have to work with. You can talk about an increase. You've got a lot of things baked in. Hopefully that goes in reconciliation, $6 billion for revitalizing shipyards, 3.5 for F-47s, 25 for Golden Dome. But that's all in reconciliation. And we can't include that in any of our planning. And that's why we are so concerned about getting the money outbreaks in front of this committee. And I'll give you an example. The Navy, their J-books, where they break everything down, I know you're really familiar with them. We had 30 of them in front of us when we were getting ready to do our appropriation last time. We have 0 in front of us this time. So, Mr. Secretary, I know, I honestly believe you want to provide the information, but time is of the essence because this committee wants to do its best work together, both Democrats and Republicans, to make sure the women who serve in our armed forces have the equipment that they need to do the missions that they're assigned to and come home safely because we honor their service and their commitment. Get us the information. Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
I thank the gentlelady, and I just make where we're going to agree that we need some more detailed information. We're going to go ahead and we're going to go upstairs here and do the subcommittee mark, but then we're later this week we're going to do the full committee mark on this bill. The Senate is pushing off doing their appropriation bills in general until after reconciliation passes because they want to incorporate that. But we don't have a luxury of time. We'll just have to work out the differences we have in conference. But it's hard for us to do our job without the J-books, without the detailed information, and I know you know that. And so you might talk to your friends at OMB, and if OMB has any friends, I don't know if they do, but and see if they can get this going for us because it'll be very helpful. With that, Mr. Secretary, thank you. Chairman, thank you. And Ms. McDonald, thank you. We appreciate all of you being here today. We are adjourned.